Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'd like to take a look at NIO's latest brand, Firefly. Firefly has exclusive battery swap station, Chief says. But why is this? Why does Firefly require exclusive different? Why do they require a different swap station compared to the NIO vehicles? The first choice is quite obvious, and that is congestions. Now, as you know, NIO is trying to revolutionize the way we charge our vehicles. Instead of charging the vehicles, which you can charge NIO vehicles, but instead of doing that, a faster option could be just swapping the batteries. And no other company is doing this. No other company has the technology or the infrastructure to do this. Perhaps someday they will adopt this model, depending on which model proves to be more successful. Would it be the swap stations or the charge stations? Now, let's take Tesla for example. Tesla doesn't swap batteries, you have to charge it. Now, for those who own a Tesla but you have your own home, you have your own garage, charging your car is a little bit more convenient. This could be done at night, this could be done at times where the energy bill is less expensive. However, this is not the same for everyone who owns a Tesla. Some people have to charge their cars at a Tesla supercharger. Now, this can create queues. This can create a lot of traffic and a lot of queues, especially when you're on a long trip, a long journey. Now, swap stations also have their own downside because let's say the swap station can only hold 20 batteries or 25 batteries. Well, after 25 swaps, this simply means that the system has run out of batteries that are fully charged, so they have to charge up all the way back to 100% before you can swap again. So don't get me wrong, swap stations also have their downside, but I see an economy where swap stations and charge stations are both essential. Simply having charging stations is probably not the best way to develop our economy in the EV world, so having swap stations is also a added benefit. So why would NIO do this? Well, the most simple answer is to avoid queues. Firefly vehicle will most likely sell a lot more than NIO vehicles. They'll probably sell a lot more than Envo vehicles because Firefly are the more affordable. I think Firefly and Envo will sell a lot more than you could ever expect. NIO is a premium brand, and when buying a premium brand car, you kind of expect the best service. So when you go to your swap stations, wouldn't you like to have priority? As a NIO member, as a Envo member, wouldn't you like to have priority? Now, if you include Envo in that, the problem is the system will quickly become overloaded. So by separating it, by having different swap stations, and for different kind of cars, let's be honest, the size of batteries that you can fit in an Envo vehicle is different from what you would fit in an ET9 or an ET7. It is different size of batteries, so the convenience is different. So for NIO to create a separate battery swapping stations for vehicles like Firefly, it's not only for vehicles like Firefly, it is for vehicles that are at similar size and different brands. So we got companies who are signing up to partnership with NIO's swap station technology. Well, these vehicles range all in different sizes and shapes. Think about it like this. Electric cars charge at different stations compared to electric trucks. The stations are different. The stations are different because the vehicles are different. There's a different need. These vehicles are carrying, parcels. They're carrying, deliverables. These vehicles, they're carrying human beings. They need to be way more convenient. So at first I wasn't for this idea, but after thinking about it, to reduce congestions, it sort of makes a lot more sense. So NIO swap stations can focus on NIO vehicles or other vehicles that are at similar size to NIO vehicles that have compatible swapping batteries. And Firefly swap stations, they can focus on Firefly vehicles and other brands of vehicles that are at similar size batteries. Now, this has never been done before, so I think before we can criticize them, we need to allow them to prove to us why they think this will work. And I need to make this clear, we need to be patient. So Daniel Jin, the president of NIO's new sub-brand Firefly, joined NIO in January 2022 to create a brand new platform for the global market. After having spent over a decade linked to Chinese SAIC Motors, the executive is expected to, alongside the company's founder, CEO William Li, to introduce Firefly to over 20,000 attendees at NIO's annual event. Now, the launch has already happened. The Firefly vehicle has been unveiled. I made a video on it. It's a fantastic looking vehicle. And with the Firefly brand, they quickly plan to expand throughout Europe, so that is even more exciting. I look forward to that for sure. Now, as shared by William Lee, Firefly will focus on high-end small car segments, competing with BMW Mini and Mercedes-Benz Smart brand. The brand's chief explained that Firefly focus on three main aspects: handling, space, safety. The target audience includes city commuters, young professionals buying their first cars, and families looking for a second vehicle. NIO aims to enter at least 25 markets by the end of next year, which is 2025, which is now, while doubling sales to over 440,000 units, with Firefly planned to be one of the major contributors. That is incredible. If NIO actually delivers up to 440,000 vehicles this year, that would be monumental. According to the report from the Chinese media outlet, the suspension system is turned differently for each region, and Firefly will use separate swap stations from NIO and Onvo. Separate swap stations, there you go. Like I said, we cannot knock the idea until it's proven to be effective or ineffective. A lot of things that are innovative and different, people are always skeptical, and people don't like change. But you see, sometimes change is necessary. Sometimes we have to give change a chance to see if it works. So regarding the battery swap station network, the executive clarified that the battery swap station will be deployed gradually based on demand, with overseas markets relying on partnership for station setups. Daniel Jin expects slower growth in overseas markets initially, but sees significant potential for expansion in the long term. Firefly is expected to contribute positively to the company's overall profitability. The CEO, William Lee, has set clear expectations on the return on investment targets for Firefly, and Daniel Jin emphasizes that the project must be profitable and will not negatively impact the group's margin. So in other words, Firefly needs to be an asset to NIO and not a liability. The executive defended that the model will offer high safety standards and aims to be the smartest in segments with excellent space utilization. In early November, NIO co-founder and president Ling Hongqin dismissed a report by Chinese outlet Yesia that claimed that Firefly would launch an extended range electric vehicle in 2026. They've dismissed this. Unlike NIO's other sub-brand Onvo, which plans to offer a total of 3 models from the last quarter of next year, which is now 2025. Firefly will focus on a single performance-oriented product, according to a report from the media outlet ITH. And this is not the first time that I've heard this, that Firefly will focus on the one product. At least that's how they will start. But focusing on this one product, if it becomes popular, that simplifies things. That really simplifies things. I don't think at the moment they need 2 versions of these vehicles, or they need a larger versions. No. Because that is where Onvo comes in. That's where Onvo is supposed to capitalize on that market. So between Firefly and NIO, there's Onvo. So if you like Firefly, but you want something a little bit larger in size, better range, better performance, you got Onvo. And if you decide, well, I want something a little bit better than the Onvo L60, well, there you got NIO. You got the ET5, you got the ET7. So at the moment, I can agree with them. They don't need to offer 2 different Firefly vehicles. Onvo can have multiple different vehicles because they're in that middle segment. They're offering coupes, small SUVs. They want to compete with the Model Y mostly. That's what the L60 is really trying to do, is to compete with the Model Y. The NIO ET5 is competing with the Tesla Model 3. The NIO ET7 is competing with the Tesla Model S. And of course, the NIO ET9 that competes with Mercedes Maybach. It competes with the BMW 7 Series. Those are top brand limousine, small limousine, I would say. So the Firefly brand will arrive in Europe this year. Despite the tariffs on Chinese-made EVs, NIO aims to position Firefly as an affordable yet high-quality electric vehicle, and the brand is designed with European consumers in mind. So if this vehicle proves to be both successful in Asia and in Europe, that is a huge positive and a huge win for NIO overall. I cannot believe that we're at the stage where NIO could realistically deliver over 400,000 vehicles in 2025. And now we have 3 brands. So according to official filing published, I believe that was in 2024, NIO Firefly production facility in China is expected to produce up to 120,000 units annually. That's probably when it ramps up to full capacity. I don't think they can do that in the first year, which is 2025 currently right now, but certainly in 2026 and 2027 and beyond. But it will take them some time to ramp up to 120,000 deliveries. But if they do that in this year, in 2025, well, you can expect great things. You can expect shock and awe. You can expect the entire EV industry to be hit with checkmate. And this is what NIO is doing with Firefly and Onvo. They've checkmate the EV industry. They've checkmate Europe. They've checkmate Tesla. And it's incredible because the notion is they can't compete with Chinese EVs at the quality China is making their EVs, with the price target being so much lower than European brands and American brands. And NIO's like, well, you haven't seen anything yet. Now here's Firefly. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe and I will see you in our next video.